So Charles, tell us why you come to the Progress Seminar.
There is no better way to network with the movers and shakers of San Mateo County than to come to this wonderful event each year. Whether you're interested in politics, education, water issues in the state in any given year, this is the place to find out more about it and to meet the people who really know what they're talking about.
Tell me one thing that you remember from the conversations you've had this morning.
Well, it wasn't a conversation, but the presentation this morning, one thing I remember is that the earthquake of 1906 somehow led to the creation of the Federal Reserve. And isn't that incredible knowledge and something I would have never known if I hadn't come today?
So are you going to continue coming?
If I'm not here, you should look for me. It means I'm in a ditch somewhere.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Roseanne. Thanks for all your work on this. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome. So we have Ann LeClaire with the San Mateo County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and you are here to hear Paul Saffo, the consulting professor at Stanford University's Engineering School, and he took us through an exercise this morning. Tell us what you thought about it.
I thought he was absolutely excellent. I think it's one of the best presentations I've ever heard in more than 30 years of attending these Progress seminars. And I love the fact that a lot of the focus this year at the seminar, and he kicked it all off, is let's think about the future. If we're not planning ahead, we're never going to get there. So I thought he was instrumental in making people change their thinking a little bit.
How did your table take to his comments and his thought process? What were some of the comments you heard from other attendees?
Our table loved it. I was surprised actually how quickly they got into the spirit of things. I think we broke into 4 separate groups purely by accident. Each group had a different topic they thought was an unknown problem in the county or something that hasn't surfaced as much. And then when we addressed the different levels and whether it's a cultural problem or a governance problem, everyone was into the exercise. Everyone loved it.
Do you enjoy coming to the Progress Seminar? You said you've been coming for 30 years, which meant you started in high school.
Yes.
So tell us why you come.
I come for a lot of reasons. The number one for me is to learn something new. We only hit the tip of the iceberg on most subjects from the media articles. So coming here, you hear it firsthand from the experts. So I love the information. I think it's fantastic to have a little time to network with people in the county you might not see a lot of. So whether it's elected officials or people with the community college district, it doesn't matter. You always make a connection that you wouldn't have had without it. So I would say, number one, the information. Number two, the networking and the making new friends.
Thank you, Ann. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Roseanne. Great job.
So with us is Ron Collins, council member in the city of San Carlos. Ron, you've served as mayor. You've been a huge community supporter. Tell us why you come to the Progress Seminar.
The number one reason I come every year is the people. I come for the networking. Yes, I come for the sessions. But there are so many people here that I meet on different levels at different meetings all the time that are helpful to me in getting things done in my city. And when I think of the Progress Seminar, I think of an opportunity to communicate with other people in a way that I can't do otherwise, because we're all busy with our own lives and our own council issues and city issues. This is the one opportunity I have to meet with people that I would like to talk to and network with them on a level that I just can't do at home.
Well, and tell us your impressions of this morning so far, between the general session and the breakouts. Give us some of your thoughts on what you've heard.
Well, the opening session was very informative. It got me thinking in a different way about some of the issues that we face and what the causes are of them and what the solutions are. And then the breakout sessions are dealing with things that I have a personal interest in, like housing and transportation. And those are the things that I want to hear more about. And it's an opportunity to hear leaders like Kevin Mullen and other people that are in Sacramento and what they're doing at a state level. And also to deal with or to communicate with county supervisors that are here as well and find out what they're doing at a county level.
Ron, I want to thank you for your support of the Progress Seminar, and I want to thank you for your service on the San Carlos City Council. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, you're quite welcome, and thank you.
So with me is John Siebert, council member in the city of Redwood City. John, you've also served as mayor. Tell us, why do you come to the Progress Seminar?
You know, I think besides the obvious of just getting an opportunity to connect with people around our community, the issues that our communities are facing are not independent of any city or any organization or really any sphere of influence, whether it be business or government or education or nonprofit. And this is an opportunity to come together and talk about those issues and to develop partnerships that who knows where will lead.
Well, and what did you hear this morning that you feel you can take back? Redwood City is a fabulous city. It's my hometown. I love it. We've done great things in the community. Tell me what you heard here that you think will help going forward.
Yeah, I think it's easy to look at the changes that have happened in Redwood City, and opinions can be on either side of them. But the reality is the changes that we made, even when you were there, and that started even well before you and I served in Redwood City, were the acorns that were being planted. And I don't even know whether we'll ever fully realize the difference that we made in the long-term future. And so I take away that those are the kind of decisions we need to continue to make. We need to invest in things and make decisions that we may not realize the benefits of right away.
Can you share with me some ideas you think maybe we should tackle in the future going forward? What would you like to see us do at the Progress Seminar?
I think just continuing to have conversations about things that are way out on the green edge, on the bleeding edge of technology, on the bleeding edge of social and cultural change, because those are the things that if we don't start talking about them now, will never get done 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now.
John, I want to thank you for your service in Redwood City and just being a longtime community supporter and a great chamber supporter.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all you've done as well, Roseanne.
Thanks for being here. So with me today is Supervisor Don Horsley with the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors. Don, you were also sheriff of our county for a long time. Tell me, why do you come to the Progress Seminar?
Well, because I think one of the things that's really a hallmark of San Mateo County is the fact that we are so effective at working together. And I actually used to come when I was the sheriff because, of course, there are 20 different cities and there are different law enforcement agencies, so it's really important for us to be able to work together. And I've always found it to be a great networking opportunity, and I've continued to think that it's an outstanding opportunity to meet other people and other government agencies.
Well, you've been a huge advocate and supporter of housing through Measure K, through the Home for All initiative, for transportation. You sit on our transportation authority. Has the Progress Seminar helped you in those areas?
You know, it really does. I remember even when I was the sheriff that we talked about the fact that there's a lack of housing, and I was interested in it from that point. So when I ended up on the Board of Supervisors, those were the committees I chose to be on housing. So yeah, we've spent, I think, through not just my leadership, but by the whole board and the cities, over $100 million on affordable housing so far. Now, unfortunately, it takes a long time for a lot of those units to come online, but we've seen, I think, a dramatic increase in housing in every city in San Mateo County, and I think it really is because of the efforts of organizations like SAMCETA and the Chambers of Commerce and the Progress Seminar.
Now, have you, with the breakouts you've attended, with Paul Saffo you heard this morning, Did you come away with anything that made you say, whoa, I need to think about that?
Yeah. I think that we have some long-term potential problems. For example, my doctor recently, when I went to see him for a visit, he said, gee, I'm not going to be here after July because I'm going to Oregon. So I think our professional class, we're going to lose them unless we actually do a better job of moving that housing needle faster. So I think I started thinking about how are we going to make sure our policemen, our firemen, our teachers, our doctors, our lawyers are going to be able to live in this community, and how are we going to be able to sustain the economic vitality of San Mateo County. We've enjoyed a great economy in this area. It's like we're sort of driving the national economy, but at the same time, we've got a lot of problems, and we have to think about how we're going to address them.
Well, I want to thank you. Actually, you have spent your career in service, and it's people like you that I'm appreciative of, that the Chamber and the Progress Seminar, so thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's been fulfilling. Thanks.
Jonathan, what'd you think about this morning?
Oh, I thought this morning was great. I really enjoyed the change-up in policy discussion, as well as having some really, I think, evolved discussion about some of the challenges we're facing in San Mateo County. It's no longer about should we invest resources in transportation improvements, or should we look at different solutions for housing. It's what are the tools available to help get us there. So I think it was great, and I look forward to more this afternoon.
I thought the housing panel was amazing with Senator Weiner and his new bill, and the mayor of Mountain View kind of going back and forth and saying, well, you can't tell people what to do. You can help them, but you can't tell them. And Senator Weiner's response to that was, well, we're trying, by telling them what to do, we're actually trying to help them. So yeah. Where should we be on housing? Who should have final say?
I absolutely think there needs to be a hybrid approach, and one of the issues in the panel that I went to on housing was before Senator Weiner was there. Assemblymember Mullen was running it. There was a discussion about the tools cities have for providing public service. And public services are not well funded by housing because of some structural problems with Prop 13 and the like, and the distribution of property taxes. And I like that the discussion is moving in that direction of what tools can come forward that's beyond just the carrot and the stick, and more a collaborative discussion on how to beyond the stick, how can the state provide some support to let cities really do what they need to do best. On the other hand, we have to remember there are 101 cities in the Bay Area, 101 cities, 45 supervisors, and a lot of competition for resources. And so I do believe that regional and perhaps state coordination can help move a lot of things forward.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We were talking about one of the topics that came up today, as you know, was taxes, and it came up in more than one panel. And so we said to ourselves, well, we're certainly going to have a tax panel next year and see what we can talk about. Supervisor Weiner talked about split roll, and I understand that there are signatures being collected now to see if that could get on the ballot.
Oh, yeah, I think that would be very interesting, yeah.
I thought the other interesting thing, we took a little diversion this week, this seminar, and did that sort of mindfulness panel. Did you go to that?
I did. I really liked it, and I have to say that in my personal life, I have a mindfulness practice, and it's really helpful for me to manage the stress of parenting, the stress of having a high-profile job in the community, and certain pressures that come from that. And what I like about mindfulness practice is it's non-denominational. It's very practical in terms of taking attention and giving attention to various things. And if it's to reduce stress, that's great. But having mindfulness of other people's perspectives really help us in some of these difficult policy debates that we're discussing around housing, transportation, privatization of facilities and the like. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the lunchtime speaker with the peace. The peace in business, the peace in government, the peace in cities. I mean, I think that we have many of us have lost our ability to be civil. We've lost our ability to kind of have civil conversations and work things out by sitting around a table talking. And so I learned some important lessons from the Stanford professor this afternoon on peace and implementing that in our conversations and in our regular workday.
Yeah, and it was great to see some of those data points about Indians and Pakistanis, how many Facebook friends there were, and
yes,
Palestinians
yes.
and Israelis, and wouldn't it be great if it were that simple?
Wouldn't it be great if that were that simple? Well, that's a little report from the Progress Seminar.
For more info on the 2018 Progress Seminar or to see the footage from past Progress seminars. Go to pentv.tv/Progress Seminar.